You know, one of the things that always cracks me up is when people tell me what I can and can't make fun of. First of all, because, as you know, I find everything funny. And secondly, if it's something I've personally gone through, I reserve the right to express it and make fun of it any damn way I please. So this next bit of material, I've been warned, is probably too dark. The public probably can't handle it. So you know I'm going to do it, right? I mean, we understand each other that well, I hope. So anyway, we're going to discuss suicide. I know. Alex, suicide, that's not funny. As a suicide survivor, yes it is. First of all, I had to give up being suicidal. I just finally had to throw in the towel because I'm bad at it. 7 attempts, serious attempts in 20 years, and the fact that I'm bad at suicide is easily proven. I'm talking to you right now. Now the mindset when you're suicidal, to me, is pretty funny. Because on the one hand, you've got part of your brain that wants to live, and another part of your brain that's trying to kill you. And you don't have options when you're suicidal that you have when somebody else is trying to murder you. Like, if someone's trying to kill you, you can hide from them. Can't really do that when you're suicidal, because no matter where you go, you bring the murderer with you. You can call the cops. Try that when you're suicidal. Hello, 911. Someone's trying to kill me. Who is it? Well, it's me. Hello. Hello. Or self-defense. You know, if someone's trying to kill you, you can fight back. You can try to stab them. You can shoot them. If you do that when you're suicidal, you're kind of defeating the purpose. And while all this is going on in your head, you have friends and family that want to help you. This usually involves them referring you to a professional. Okay, let me fill you in on something. Your local crisis center is not filled with professionals, all right? It's filled with recovering addicts, recovering depressives, who feel like they need to give something back. And as a recovering addict and a recovering depressive, let me just say most of the time we wish they would just keep it to themselves and stay out of it. I've been to the crisis center many times, and here are some wonderful words of wisdom I've heard. I started out as a cutter. You can still play tic-tac-toe on my arm, actually, if you'd ever want to. It's great for parties. But I remember walking in and a guy going, "You won't cut yourself, I got a corn knife out in the car, we'll do you up right." Thank you. Thank you, O Humanitarian of the Year. Remind me to call the Nobel family and get your Peace Prize ready.
If you're trying to kill yourself, you're going the wrong way. You don't go crosswise, you go lengthwise.
Thanks for the tip. Didn't realize I was doing it wrong. And they're never satisfied with what you tell them. Because no matter what you express to them, they always assume there's something else going on. There's something deeper, something darker that must be driving you. Because if you admit it, you must have accepted it, and therefore it must not be bothering you. I love this logic. Example, you can go into the crisis center, and they can say, "What's wrong?" And you can say, "Well, I sexually violated the dog, and now I feel bad for being a sexual pervert." That will not be enough. They will proceed with questions like, "Is that the only domesticated animal you've sexually violated?" Like the dog isn't enough, you know? I guess you could tell them something they want to hear, like, "Well, I tried to rape the goldfish, but I couldn't hold my breath that long." I remember being there, again, for cutting, and the woman says, "Have you mutilated anything else? Have you cut your genitals?" Which I thought was really odd, because I wasn't mad at my penis, nor was I mad for being a guy. But I loved the fact that my mother, who was sitting beside me at the time, went, "Giggle, giggle, titter, titter. If he did, he'd have nothing left. Tee hee hee." Way to go, Ma. Now I really want to live. So then if you're lucky, they will put you in the local mental ward for observation. The problem here is there's no differentiation between mental disorders. So you're in there with depressives, addicts, schizophrenics, people with identity disorders. people who hear voices. You're all in together. This is not conducive to good mental health, especially if you're depressed and suicidal. I remember there was this one older lady in there with me. If there was ever a woman who defined big boned, it was this chick. She was about 65, 66, 6'4", had shoulders like a frickin' linebacker, okay? And she'd walk up and down the halls. They say I don't love the baby, but I do love the baby. Why would they say I don't love the baby? Pretty creepy shit. And one day I was on the payphone in there. We had a payphone back then, in the middle ward. Talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, yeah, Kenny, I gotta get the hell out of here, man. This place is making me crazier than I was when I got in. Here comes linebacker woman. Love everyone. I do. So anyway, Kenny, no. You say you do, but I don't think you really do. Yeah, I do. Orderly, over here, orderly. I'm about to get pounded, orderly. Now we also had this old guy in there that I'm not really sure what his mental disturbance was. He just seemed to me like he just gave up. He stopped trying to make sense. He stopped trying to be a part of life at all. He lived in his own little mind and he was happy. And the guy was a trip. I remember we had a smoking room at the time. Yeah, we were allowed to smoke back then. And he went to the smoking room, tore apart everybody's butts, got the tobacco out, and rolled a cigarette in toilet paper. Went to the front desk to get the little lighter on a string, you know, in case they invited a pyromaniac in with the rest of us. Lit the makeshift cigarette and damn near burned his face off. This guy was good entertainment. And now, like I said, we do everything together. So at one point in time, I'm having dinner, you know, on the little lunch tray there, and linebacker woman is sitting right next to crazy man. And I'm sitting next to a nurse. Linebacker woman decides to say, they watch you through your TV, you know. They've been watching me. And crazy man has had enough. Crazy man sees no reason to hold back, and he explodes. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I bet you think anything that's different is evil, don't you? Ooh, watch this. I'm going to pour my chocolate milk on my macaroni. Ooh, I must be evil, huh? Probably Satan incarnate. That's different. That's evil. Watch this. I'm going to eat it. You know, that's pretty good. Look at me. Eating macaroni and cheese with chocolate milk on top. Yum, 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 yum. I must be a demon. I'm losing it. I am under the table pretending to pick something up, laughing my head off, while a nurse is smacking me in the side, going, stop it, you're going to make me, stop it. And yeah, I did what comes naturally to me. And it's something I don't recommend. But to keep myself sane, there were two things I did. Number one, they had a music room. They had a turntable, some speakers, and some albums that had been donated by, you know, local people. One of the albums was Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. So I would sneak into the record room, lock the door, put on Dark Side of the Moon, and play Brain Damage over and over and over again. Because for the first time in my life, when I heard, the lunatics are in the hall, it was pretty effing accurate. Exactly, they were. All I had to do was open the door. The other thing I did was, there was a girl in there about my age. I decided to get a girlfriend. I don't recommend getting a girlfriend in the crazy ward, but I tell you, sneaking off to the smoking room to make out and squeeze some booby probably did more for my mental health than anything the doctors or nurses prescribed. So in a nutshell, if you do have somebody in your life that's suicidal, please, for the love of God, don't send them out there. It just makes things worse. There you go. The taboo subject I wasn't supposed to mention. Have a good day.